being multiple, I'm trying to find a word. It's hard. There's days where you wonder how things even got done. Days you just lose yourself.
Tony suffers from multiple personality disorder. He has at least 53. Among them, Tony the original, the imposter, the controller. Dee Dee, who remembers everything. Richard, a cousin who died of a brain tumor a decade ago.
When Richard talks to me, it's a different sound. Tony the imposter, it's basically the same as myself. Dee Dee, like I say, he's real different. It's unbelievable. But they're all different. They've all got their own voices. It's not where, you know, we're all the same.
Tony is a fairly fragmented multiple who, instead of having that sort of nicely free-flowing consciousness, which is a series of kind of normal, natural transitions from one state into another, is a person who really believes that he's sharing his body with a whole lot of people. And the problem with that is that he has no control when the other person is going to come out and take consciousness away from him.
No matter what I did, to be myself, there's days I can't control, where they'll just take over.
He's in too many pieces. He's, you know, just too many selves to deal with. But at least I'm able to talk to them now. They acknowledge their names to me, which is something. You know, it's a big change in him. He never did that before.
Do you know this woman?
No.
You want to ask her who she is?
Why?
Roberta.
Good.
Does that mean anything to you?
No.
Did you know that Tony is married?
Yeah, I know.
This is who he's married to.
Beautiful.
A therapy session. Tony's personalities are drawn out.
Say that like,
Each
you
is
know,
probed
married,
for its
I'm
secrets.
sure. You don't really believe me.
That's his wife. That's not my wife.
Are you married?
No.
Do you have a girlfriend?
No.
A personality change can be subtle or wrenching. A cough, a hand to the head, a movement of the eyes.
You doing all right?
Huh?
Are you doing all right?
I think so. What? I'm not doing that right?
You're doing all right. Do you know all of these people? Why don't you let that little boy come out? That's all right. Let him come out. That's okay. Hello? Anthony? Anthony? Don't be frightened. It's okay. Do you know this lady?
Yeah.
This is Roberta. Don't be scared.
No, no, no. It's okay. I'm here.
Are you
Okay.
about 5 years old? Would that little boy like to tell me why his hand is trembling so? Hmm?
What do you want?
Richard,
What?
how are you doing? Those lights really are getting to you. Richard, do you know that little boy that was just out? That little boy whose hand shakes like that?
No.
You sure?
What did I just say?
Do you know the story about the little boy?
No.
Why does your head hurt so badly? Lots of in and out, huh? Are you the original?
Yeah.
You sure?
Sure.
Is there anybody inside you who knows everything about everyone? So-called memory trace?
Probably Dee Dee could remember everything.
There are at least 3 Dee Dees, 7 years old, 14, 37. Tony's illness began in childhood, when most cases of multiple personality begin. Most are triggered by the need to flee psychologically from real physical or sexual abuse. Nobody yet knows what triggered Tony's.
No, there's only one Dee Dee.
Who are you?
You're learning too fast.
Am I?
Hmm.
I think the multiple, in a way, it's a kind of paradox, because simultaneously he has an exaggerated ability to focus. That is, he focuses out existence altogether and substitutes an alternate existence. but also is unable to focus volitionally on anything he wants to focus on at the moment.
If the different selves don't in turn tell me, say, hey, we did this or we did that, I'm lost. I have no recollection of what happened. It's like we went to a wedding. And I swore to God, I wasn't at that wedding. I had no memory of it. The imposter took over, blanked me out the whole night. And there I am, you know, a couple days later going around asking people, did you see me there? Was I there?
How can the brain completely suppress one so-called self and focus on another? Research into multiple personality disorder is so new.
When it really hit me was when I was down in Bethesda, Maryland. I said, well, I was hoping that I proved them wrong. Because I think mainly the reason why I went down there was, well, let me go and prove these people wrong. These people ain't right.
What we know is that the brain is all the time generating electrical signals, electrical activity. If you put an electrode on the skull or on the head, you can measure spontaneous electrical activity from the brain. Now, if you stimulate that person with a flash of light or a sound or an electric shock, for example, you get an evoked electrical spike. And that's what we call an evoked potential, to distinguish it from the spontaneous electrical activity that's going on all the time, which is known as the EEG or electroencephalogram.
Putnam and his colleagues were searching for differences in brain activity among the personalities of multiples. They matched a group of multiples with a group of normal individuals who were asked to mimic or fake new personalities. Then they tested the evoked potentials of both groups, the multiples for 3 of their personalities, the controls for 3 personalities they had invented. Among others, they tested Tony.
In Tony's case, we had 3 of his alternate personalities tested, and we tested each of these personalities for a number of days. And what you can see is that Tony, Dee Dee, and Richard show differences in the mapping of those evoked potentials across the brain.
Frank finally came into the room, and I looked at the papers, and he says, this is your brain. And I says, yeah. He said, well, this is Dee Dee's brain. This is Tony's brain. And this is Richard's brain. There is a Dee Dee that lives inside you. There is a Richard. There is Tony, the original. I got so upset, and I felt like I was just, everything just came out of me. I had to get out of the room.
Intriguing biological differences, as seen in these evoked potentials among alter personality states, continue to be reported by investigators. In addition, Putnam and colleagues have found stable differences on repeated testings of visual acuity, ocular function, heart rate, galvanic skin response, respiratory rate, and regional cerebral blood flow. This suggests that there may, in fact, be some real bodily changes that occur when the alternate personalities are out. Together, these findings suggest that multiple personality disorder is a valid psychiatric condition that provides an important scientific window into the organization of personality and consciousness.